Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, we'll offer timely tax tips targeted to older adults. Then, we'll share a mother-daughter story that will bring a smile to your face. We'll guide you in making important decisions about your parents' care. Plus, we'll spell out why a TCU is a healthy choice for cardiopulmonary care. And did you get left out of the will? We'll advise you on family inheritances.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. The tax clock is ticking, and while you definitely want to file before next month's deadline of April 18th, you don't want to miss any deductions that you deserve. Jessica Lynn is here with areas you need to be aware of, especially if you're an older adult. Jessica is an enrolled agent tax manager at NMS Incorporated. Why did you pick that name? The first area that we want to focus on is medical expenses. But didn't they just raise the limit a couple years ago?
They did for taxpayers under the age of 65. Previously, if your medical expenses added up to over 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, you could deduct them, but they raised that to 10%. However, if you're over the age of 65, it still remains at the 7.5%.
Oh, that's a good thing. So what are considered medical deductions then?
You can deduct insurance, co-pays, prescriptions, mileage, supplies. There's really a lot of things in that category.
Okay, anything medical, anything you use. So how about another deduction that's often missed?
A lot of times we see people miss or they're just not aware of if you actually do an addition to your home to make it handicap accessible. You are allowed to deduct that expense as long as it increases the value of your home over the cost of the addition.
Okay, yeah, probably people wouldn't think about that. Also, there's a lot of adult children who are viewers that financially support their parents. Is there any kind of deduction for that?
Yes, Generally, to claim a dependent, they have to live with you. However, in cases where you're caring for a parent and they may live outside of your home, you are still able to claim them even if they're not in the home, as long as they meet two other tests, which are that their gross income is under $4,050, in which case Social Security doesn't usually count for that.
Oh, okay.
And
that's good, because otherwise I think most people would be over that.
Yes, and then the second test is that you have to also provide more than half of their support.
Okay, so if they're living with you, it can be a dependent. If you're helping just care for them, it can even be a dependent deduction. That could be really worthwhile.
Yes.
How about nursing home costs? Is that a deductible in its entirety or only part, or how does that work?
If the person is in the home due to full medical care, for the main purpose is medical care, then you can deduct everything, food, living, whatever cost that is incurred while you're there. If the main purpose is not for medical reasons, then you can only deduct the portion that goes towards medical care.
Now, would that be true too for like an assisted living facility?
Yes, same thing.
Okay, so even though it's not quite as much care as in the nursing home.
If the purpose is for medical, like they can't really take care of themselves on their own and they have to be there for medical reasons, it's all deductible.
Okay, that's really good to know. And in order to take advantage of all these deductions we've been talking about, medical or dependent or your real estate taxes or all those kinds of things that people already know about, you have to itemize those.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes, so you have to be able to itemize in the first place, and then if the medical goes over that percentage, it gets added in. However, even if you can't itemize on the federal return, a lot of times if the expenses still go over the 7.5% or the 10%, you may still be able to deduct them on the Ohio return.
Oh, okay. So you got to pay attention to the kind of return it is as well.
Yes.
These are great tips for our viewers. So with tax season coming, we need all the help we can get with saving money.
We do.
So there are many deductions that you could miss, and that does mean missing out on money. My thanks to Jessica for pointing out these particular examples. If you need help determining if these deductions or any others apply to you, give Jessica a call. Her number's next. Thanks.
For more information, call NMS Incorporated at 1-888-942-8111 or visit www.neececpa.com. Next, she has her mother's smile. But first, we call her Lady Liberty. But who is the Statue of Liberty really representing? We'll carve out the answer and name that female figure when we return.
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
The Statue of Liberty is modeled after the Roman goddess Libertas, who represented freedom. But the statue itself wasn't free. In fact, lack of money almost made the carving incomplete. Then publisher Joseph Pulitzer developed a drive for donations, and thanks to those funds, the statue was finished in 1886.
Listen to your mother. That's usually pretty good advice, but one mom learned her daughter was the wise one when it came to saving her smile. Dentist Steve Marsh is here to tell the tale of a mother-daughter makeover. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for that cute introduction.
So this is a mother-daughter combo, came in to see you,
Yeah,
and we're going to talk about it. And they wrote you this really nice note.
Right, they had planned on coming with us, but because they wanted to write this note.
Okay, and the end of it is, thank you for your kindness, friendship, and thoughtfulness. And of course, our radiant smiles. I am grateful. Prayers and blessings from Patrice and Mother Becky.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you did a great job for them.
Well, it's very gratifying when we do that. It really can, dentistry can change lives, so that was a very nice note. You know, they came to me, the daughter came first. She was actually a Golden Opportunities viewer.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. And she said, I really want, and those were her words, a radiant smile.
Okay.
So we have a lot of pictures so that we can go right into what we were able to do for them.
So what did you do to make that radiant for her?
Well, so she said to me when she came in, listen, I'm all in. I want to do whatever I can. This is what she looked like. She was in her 60s. Teeth had grayed out over time. They had shifted. Interestingly, she said when she was younger, she did have braces. But what happens to all of us is, as we've talked about before, teeth start to shift. They start to wear. And imagine, they've been in there 50-some years. Remember, you get your first set of teeth when you're about 6, the permanent. So we ended up doing a segment where we did some veneers in the front and porcelain crowns on the back. And you can see how we were able, without braces, orthodontics of any kind, though it might have helped had she had the time, we did 4 porcelain veneers in the front. And posteriorly, in the back, she had had a lot of fillings. The teeth had turned dark. A number of them had broken. Sometimes old silver fillings, you bite down and you bite down, and actually makes those teeth fracture. And that's what happened. Well, there's the picture of her before. That's Patrice. And the after picture, you see this wonderful radiant smile. She's very confident, she's very personable, but again was hesitant to smile as much as she had wanted, and this changed things. So not only did they send a note, but every time they came in, Lori, mother and daughter, they brought snacks. They go to a bakery and a sort of a patisserie on the west side, and they brought this into our office every time. So, Lori, sometimes we did major work. Sometimes we'd say, just come in for a little adjustment, because we knew we would get this wonderful lunch. We'd schedule them right for before lunch.
Wait a minute.
We learned how, and that was a note. So after she was done.
So Mom saw her smile and said, hey, I want that too?
And Mom is 90 years old, very vibrant, wonderful person, and there was her. She couldn't be more lovely. Her name's Becky, and wasn't thrilled with her smile. She had seen a dentist for many years, and if you look at her photographs, he had tried to keep her sort of patched up. So she would break something, he would add some bonding material, but never in a sense took an overall look. And that happens sometimes when you see people regularly. Of course, for me, it was a new patient. So she came in, we developed a plan that worked for her. We did the upper teeth first, and then we came to the lower. The lowers, again, had shifted, they had worn, and they had added lots and lots of bonding over the years. We actually splintered them together. So like her daughter, we went ahead and we did some porcelain veneers in the front, and in the back we did these porcelain crowns. Remember, Lori, today we can do all porcelain. It stands up very well, it's very strong, it's very hard. And there's this vibrant, vivacious person. She said to me, I take care of my house, taking care of my cars as things have aged. It's time for me to take care of myself. And her daughter, Patrice, who was so lovely, encouraged her. And they came in together. The staff loved having them. I think they love the staff. I can't tell you, probably among the most gratifying pieces of work we have done over the past 40 years in dentistry.
Yeah, Mom doesn't look 90, does she?
No, and she's just fabulous. A wonderful person, and makes you feel good about what you do as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Couldn't be kinder.
If you're not happy with your smile, do what this mother-daughter duo did. Make over your mouth. For help, give Steve a call. His number's next.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com. Next, important information when considering care. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Estate planning, avoiding probate, need help checking these off your financial bucket list? Then attend a free seminar presented by the law offices of Solomon, Steiner, and Peck, Thursday, March 9th at 6 p.m. The event will be held at Hummingbird Point, and seats are limited. To reserve your spot, call 216-765-0123.
You realize your parents need more care than you can give. But what kind of care? Can they be helped at home, or do they need more assistance? And how do you even begin to search for those options? The answer could be right at your fingertips, thanks to a unique website. Max Compton is here to help us navigate this new website, and it's kind of new normal for people. Max is the president of the Senior Comfort Guide. So welcome back to the show. You've been here before.
Thank you, Lori.
But before we get into the website, what is the Senior Comfort Guide?
So the Senior Comfort Guide is a reliable source, a resource to show families and loved ones of all options in terms of the terminology to discuss with their parents of what services they may need, and then hopefully hold their hand as they're going from facility to facility or service, to know what questions to ask, what answers to receive, and to hopefully choose a reliable source that can help their mom's quality life.
Okay, so if we determine we think our parents need help, what's the first step?
So from the younger generation, as I like to think I'm from, we tend to first go to the web. We developed this online directory, which is revamped. We had it for a while, but we revamped it with photos, videos, services, amenities of each and every facility and each and every service. Everyone's listed on there. The ones that are more of a larger client, those are the ones that actually put their photos, videos.
We got some web shots of the pages, so.
So besides choosing whether it's a zip code or whether it's a service type that you think you would match your family member, such as what type of facility, then you would go and navigate through the online website to find exactly what's available in that area, along with a lot of resources. There's a resource tab on the site that can help navigate so you can develop a plan for your mom. So whether it's an elder care attorney or whether it's a hospice or home care, to understand what all the different terminologies are used or utilized in the healthcare system.
So it's a resource guide as well as finding these places. So what if we look at one facility and want to know more about that one particular facility?
So all you would have to do, as long as they are a client of ours, you would tap on it or click on it, and hopefully you will see beautiful pictures, videos, a map of their facility, the services. And another interesting feature is that we do have the Medicare rating for the facilities. So if you're you're skeptical, you want to know what does Medicare think of this facility, so it can take you directly to the Medicare system to see what their ratings are. Another thing is it could take you directly to their website and their contact information, so you can be able to contact them for more information, hopefully set up a tour.
So how does Medicare rank the various facilities?
Well, they would come in on a yearly basis, an annual basis, and they do an extensive research and extensive checking into each and every facility to see what they rate. And those ratings could be very viable. Now, not all of them are always what you think they are or a family might think they are, but it's always good to do some research, and you should utilize that.
So it's like 1 to 5 star ratings, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So
and
5
is the
good
highest.
and 1 is not so good. Okay.
Exactly.
And the website's great because a lot of people start there, but sometimes we need something to take in our hands, right?
So what I'm known for is our print guides that we have here is the Senior Comfort Guide, and they're for Northeast Ohio. They cover all the way down from Cleveland all the way down to Youngstown, Canton, and Akron, of just something you put in your pocketbook, a tool that can give you all what's on the website but fit in your pocket.
And it's free, right?
It's all free. It's all paid by our clients, and it's the most well-known guide that's online and in print, just focused locally for Northeast Ohio.
And what if they need a little bit more help than what the guide can even give them?
As I always tell everyone, call our office. I will direct them with non-biased information, and I will lead them to the right direction so they can see more or get more information that they need.
All right, sounds like a great guide. Before you can help your parents, you really need to help yourself learn about the options available to them. But help is just a click or a page turn away, thanks to the Senior Comfort Guide. But thanks to Max Compton for guiding us through just a little bit of the available information. So to learn more, use the information that we have coming up next.
Find out more about the Senior Comfort Guide by calling 216-292-8485 or log on to www.seniorcomfortguide.com. Next, helping with a transition from hospital to home. It's time to get up and go, an exercise segment on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we're here to show you how to work the lower abdominals and even the hip flexors. This is an excellent exercise. It's going to help strengthen that core everybody's talking about. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, we're going to start lying flat on the ground. Here in the studio, we have our exercise mats out. You at home, go ahead, grab a spot on the floor and try this one out. We're going to lay flat. Make sure you keep your head back. We want our hands to the side just for a little support. And all we're going to do is we're going to keep our right leg nice and stiff, and we're going to bring it up to about a 90-degree angle, okay? We're going to drop it back down. Right before it touches, try to bring it straight back up. All right, we're going to shoot for 12 to 15 repetitions, and then we can go ahead and switch sides. Excellent. How you feeling, Lori?
Oh, feel the burn.
There
Stretch,
you go.
Yes.
You're on your way to a stronger core. All right, slow and controlled movements, everybody. Remember to breathe. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
You've had great care in the hospital after a heart problem, and now you're going to a rehab center. So how do your medical specialists continue to track your progress? University Hospitals has a new plan that increases the partnership between the two places. And Dr. Nazrin Jinwala has joined us here in the UH broadcast studio to tell us about it. Dr. Jinwala is a cardiologist and the medical director of heart failure here at University Hospitals. So welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So before we get to the actual new plan, give us an idea of the issues that are involved when you're going from the hospital to rehab and ultimately to home with a cardiac issue.
So as you know, heart disease is really the #1 killer in the United States and worldwide, with over 600,000 patients dying a year. So that's 1 in 4 people dying of heart disease every year. So when patients are transitioned out of the hospital, many of them who have heart disease may require a little bit of extra care and extra time in rehab facilities after they're discharged before they're transitioned home. Some of these, the big issues with these are that especially the patients who are sicker and have a higher acuity of problems can develop other issues at the rehab facilities, including they could have a heart attack, they could have heart rhythm problems, develop heart failure, and hence the UH partners with Lifelong Health have developed this really new and innovative program to help these patients and keep a close eye on them when they're transitioned to the rehab facility.
Okay, so tell us how this new plan helps that transition to rehab. So give us some details.
So it's known as a TCU, or a transitional care unit. So the cardiopulmonary transitional care unit is basically what is the program that's developed to really take care of these patients as they transition from the hospital to the rehab facility and finally to home. And the main goal of this is to reduce rehospitalizations in these patients and really to keep a close eye and to optimize their care, so that, you know, we're not only really optimizing them in the hospital, but we're also optimizing them when they get home.
So where is this new facility currently?
So currently we have, you know, the facility has been open at Menora Park on the east side of Cleveland for about 6 months now. Basically it's a 10-bed unit. It's really supported by a team of cardiologists. There's a pulmonologist, a rehab specialist, as well as there is a rehab-trained nurse. There's also a respiratory therapist on site, occupational and physical therapist, and nutritionist. So really this team of personnel from UH as well as Menora Park really develop a program which is specific for the patient. And so it's tailored to the patient to really have the best outcomes. And you know, the other thing is that's really unique about this program is that we have cardiac telemetry, which is where we're able to monitor the patient's rhythm and heart rates while they're actually exercising. So that gives us extra information, and it also helps to tailor the patient's care.
What kind of impact has the TCU had on readmissions?
So I really think we've done a great job. So over the last 6 months at Menora Park, we've had about 30 admissions, and so far there's only been 1 readmission, and that's for pneumonia. So it's been really good.
Yeah.
And this, we compared it to previously where we had a similar 30 patients where the readmission rate was about 6 patients. So we've actually dropped it from about 26% to 3%. So really,
that's pretty darn good.
Yes, so we're excited.
Menora Park's east side, is there going to be a west side version?
Yes, so we're hoping to have many more, but right now the next one in line is at O'Neill Rehab Facility on the west side. So we're working on getting that started pretty soon.
All right, looking forward to it. It's important for cardiac patient care to continue even after leaving the hospital. The transitional care unit can play an important role in patients' recovery as they move from the hospital into rehab on their path towards home. My thanks to Dr. Ginwala for joining us today to spell out the advantages of this unique program.
Learn more by calling University Hospitals at 1-844-312-LIFE or click to www.uhhospitals.org. Next, excluded from an inheritance.
Right now, proton therapy, a revolutionary treatment for many types of cancer, is available for the first time in Ohio and only at University Hospital's Seidman Cancer Center. That's the future of cancer care. That's UH Seidman Cancer Center. Right now, the trusted experts of University Hospital's Seidman Cancer Center and the most advanced cancer-fighting technologies are in 17 community locations. That's leading-edge care where you're most comfortable. That's UH Seidman Cancer Center.
You have a will or trust providing for the distribution of your assets. You expect your wishes to be honored, and generally they should be. But are there circumstances under which your wishes will not be followed? My law partner, Mike Solomon, has information we can all follow. So welcome to the show again.
Hello.
So aren't your will or trust, I mean, isn't that the determinative word on where assets go when you die?
Well, generally the answer is yes. As long as you're competent, you know what your assets are, you know who the proper heirs of your estate are, and you know the document you're signing that they're giving your assets to whoever it is you put in your will or your trust, then your documents are generally going to be followed.
Okay, so under what circumstances might your documents be legally challenged?
They're basically four reasons. If you're under undue influence, duress, or there's fraud, or you're incompetent when you sign the documents.
Okay, can you give a little bit more explanation about those things?
Sure. So for example, undue influence means, you know, someone has so much influence over you that you've actually lost your own free will. They tell you to do something and you're going to really be influenced to follow it. Duress is, you know, I'm going to beat you up unless you, put me in the will. Fraud is you didn't even realize you were signing a will or a trust, or you didn't know the terms of the trust. And incompetence means you just don't know what you're doing. You're incompetent. You can't sign a will. If one of those things happens, your will and trust could be kicked out.
Okay, I think an example might help a little bit on explaining some of that.
Okay, so let's say your will and your trust provide that on your death, everything goes to your children. And then later on, you become unable to handle your own affairs, you're sick, your kids are all out of town, and all of a sudden a nephew appears out of nowhere, or you know, a relative, and they say, oh, I'll help you, I'll take care of you, and your kids, you know, they're not coming into town because they don't like you, and you start influencing you to change your will. Maybe they call an attorney, they arrange for you to meet a new attorney, you do a new will, and you draft, all of a sudden they're the beneficiary, that niece or nephew, and then that might be a reason to argue undue influence.
Okay, so the kids could come in and maybe get that one thrown out.
That's right.
And get back and rightfully.
Right.
So, now, what if we're drafting a will or trust and we really do want the nephew to get those assets and the children may not be really so happy about that? How do you make sure your will is going to be followed?
Well, number one, you ought to sit down with a qualified attorney who will go through the formal process of making sure you know what you're doing and taking notes and having it signed and having a couple witnesses sign and maybe even do a memo so to remember the fact pattern. Make sure you know what documents you're signing. That's the sort of stuff you need to do. And don't change your will every 5 minutes. You know, that's always a weakness. That people constantly are changing their estate planning documents. It begins to look like you don't really have any set mind on this sort of thing, and again, you're easily influenced at that point.
Okay, well, those are good tips to keep in mind. So follow Mike's advice to make sure your will or trust is followed when you die. For more information, use the number coming up next.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, what are the top 3 financial concerns? We have the answer and advice. We'll look at eye ailments that arise as we age and see what can be done. And if your spouse dies, can you still access your joint bank accounts? We'll help you bank on it. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.